This video is about confrontation and avoidance. Hi, this is Elena, and what we are setting on this video is about how to confrontation in overall, and avoidance. We are in the process of collective purging, we are in the process of speaking our truth, of stepping into our authentic self, stepping into our sovereignty, and I have many more beautiful words that mean nothing if you don't actually feel into them. Okay. So confrontation has to do a lot with the root chakra, a bit with the solar plexus, but you will see as we go on how it evolves other chakra energies as well and what is changing for you. So this video is about three main parts. Why is it difficult to use confrontation in our connections, in our relationships? What do you lose? What do you have to lose if you don't use confrontation and you use avoidance? And actually, what do you have to gain? What are you gaining out of it if you actually step up and use confrontation in your connection, in your communication, in the work environment, with friends, with family? Literally, it applies in every situation in your life. Now, confrontation has to do with speaking up your truth. It has to do with expressing what you feel is your truth and others don't see it or perceive you differently or have misunderstood you or they project things on you and you just accept it. Now, why is it difficult? Let's start with that. The first part of this video. Why is it difficult? Because we are usually afraid of the conflict. We are afraid that someone will feel uncomfortable. We are afraid that this will evolve to an argument, okay, in a huge way. And we are afraid to actually speak up and speak our truth because we don't know how the other person will receive it, if it's gonna ruin our connection, and we choose to live in a lie like, okay, I am that person for you. If that works for you, it will work for me as long as I have you in my life. As long as we get along, as long as we are fine, out of fear. And we choose to be in that space out of fear, and we keep procrastinating on confronting situations and people, and we let others be in the space they think we are meeting them, and we are not exactly there, or we don't want to be there, or we just accept it with a feeling of being indifferent, kind of. Okay. So these are the reasons why people don't confront others, why they don't share their truth, why they say, yeah, okay, I don't like this, it's not for me, but yeah, okay, let's do that. Since that's what makes you happy, since that's what keeps you in my life, since that is what I like having from you as interaction, and so on and so forth. The problem with that actually goes with what you have to lose, what you are losing. You suppress yourself. I have taken my notes because it's a huge subject that I would like to go deep, and it's been on my thoughts for over a year to do a video about confrontation and why is it difficult for people and what they can do to actually overcome that difficulty, because most of the times it's just in our minds. I'm afraid that if I speak my truth, they will love me less, they will pull themselves away from me, and so on and so forth. Even if that's the case, so what? This is my favorite phrase, actually, when I want to get someone unstuck. So what? If that person pulls away and they're not anymore in your life, there's a reason for that. You're doing a favor for you, for yourself, and for the other person, even if you don't see it at the moment. So remember that. So what? If the connection is true, it's based in love, it's based in understanding, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. But before we go to the step of what do you have to gain out of it, let's go to what you're losing. You're allowing to yourself to accept others' truth as yours when it's not your truth. You get to suppress more and more of yourself. You get to be condescending in a way that is not in alignment with you, that you are losing more than you are gaining. Usually we make these silent agreements with ourselves in a way that I'm gaining something out of this, so I don't want to lose that kind of connection. And I'm afraid I will dissatisfy someone. I will make them sad with the things I have to say, and so on and so forth. And we get to be in a silent mode without actually confronting the situation or the person. Say, yes, you are right with how you see things, but this is how I see things. And in that space, you actually take your power back. You reclaim a lot of your power. Let's stay a bit more on what do you have to lose. You don't have true connections. You're not your authentic self, which means that every connection can fall apart at any point of time once you feel like enough is enough and you make an explosion, and everyone believes that you are a new person. And it's not the truth. You were always that person that they see now, but that person was hiding behind a mask, behind a silent agreement, behind something that you allowed them to believe and perceive from you. So in that space, you have no connection with your true self, your authentic self. You have no true connection with others, and you get to be suppressed and in the back burner in many ways because you just agree with everyone else and you don't actually step up to see that this is my truth. I don't see it in the way you see it, or you are wrong about me. This is not why I'm doing this, or you are wrong about that for me because I am doing this for these different reasons, for example. Okay, I'm bringing up random examples as they come to me. Now, let's go to the part of what you have to gain if you actually use confrontation, if you speak up your truth. I want to add at this point that if you do that, if you actually choose confrontation, authenticity, expression, you activate your chakras, expression, throat chakra, okay, you activate your heart chakra, it doesn't mean that you have to be unkind. The first feeling when we initially start using confrontation in our connections, in our relationships, it's that, like, I'm gonna be mean, I'm gonna be bad, I'm gonna be unkind of saying that, and we get to pull ourselves back and we want to say something, but we go back again in hiding in plain sight, and we don't actually speak our truth because it's very uncomfortable. It's perfect. Celebrate that. And do it despite the fact that it is uncomfortable, okay? That it brings discomfort at you at this point of time. At the beginning, you will feel like that, and it's absolutely normal. So, how you can actually get out of that space is your goal. Set a goal. Okay, what do you want to achieve with this kind of confrontation? How you can actually handle that? How can you actually navigate it? Is by thinking that this is me. I'm done with people perceiving me as they wish. I will actually speak up my truth. I will express myself, even if it is uncomfortable. I will express how I feel about the situation, about this person, about how they perceive me. I will express it because there's something off here. That is enough as an intention to start speaking up. There's something off. And to be honest with you, the more honest you are with yourself and with others, the more true connections, real connections you will be creating, the more respect you give to yourself, and equally you're going to be receiving it. Now, what happens? What do you have to gain? Creating healthy boundaries. The boundaries sometimes need to be expressed, other times need to be created in your energy by your own beliefs. So when you speak up your truth, you actually create boundaries with your words by communicating them to others and saying that this is not acceptable, this is not okay, okay, or this has hurt me in the past, and you keep repeating it, although I have asked you to stop doing that. It actually makes me feel unseen, unheard, disrespected. So attach the feeling. How does it make you feel? This is confrontation. I would appreciate it even more if you were doing the XYZ thing for me, as I have asked you so many times, because it would make my life easier at this point. It would make me feel more free to do the other stuff that you are not doing. especially in a marriage, okay, in a connection, in a relationship, we actually have to find a way to communicate our truth. And confrontation has to do with honesty, with authenticity, with healthy boundaries, with expression and communication. You're not there to just blurb some things out of your system and leave, okay? Because that's not confrontation. That is just me being agitated or of having enough and boom, and I'm letting it all out on you and I demand you hear me. That's not how it works. So confrontation has to do with actively expressing yourself, actively listening to the feedback you receive, the back and forth communication. Okay, throat chakra. This is how we go and see the other chakras as well. And solar plexus. Actually, presenting yourself, speaking up your truth, and being okay in that uncomfortable place where you actually decree to yourself that I'm heard, I'm seen, and I communicate my truth, regardless of the other person's reaction. That's the tricky thing now. Regardless of the other person's reaction, you have to speak your truth and you have to use confrontation. You have to speak up. Okay. Expecting someone to actually hear you, to actively hear you, means that you are not focused on your truth. You are focused on their truth, of how they will react, of how they will actually take this. And that's not the point. It's about you. So bringing the focus back to yourself is the point where you actively listen to yourself while speaking your truth. You actually respect your truth. So what you will be receiving is being heard, being respected, and being appreciated. It doesn't matter how the other person will react. Yes, they may not take it well the first time, the second time, it will be easier also for you to communicate it, to communicate what you have to communicate, to express it at its fullest expression. And in that space, you get to be in a space actually, well, this is my truth. We can find the balance of that. I'm open, I'm here, but at the same time, I want you to respect my truth, which I respected firstly because I found the guts, found the courage to actually communicate it. And I'm talking, okay, throat chakra. So, this is a way for you claiming your worth, taking back your power that you have gifted away to someone else. Because people don't just take power, your power. You have gifted it away to someone. You didn't have value. You weren't valuing actually your worth, your self-respect, who you are in essence. And you were giving it away unconsciously most of the times. We don't do it consciously. We don't say, let's give some of the power to that person and so on and so forth. We actually do it unconsciously because we are not aware of what are our actions, what they have as a consequence and stuff like this. So, confrontation and avoidance, two opposites. And yes, you have to choose your time. But if you're ever thinking about what's the best time to actually confront this person, there's never going to be a good time. The time is always at the point where you feel ready, despite then the unreadiness and the uncomfortability you already feel about it. There's always that point of this is the time, and you know it. And it's the fear that is coming up. I don't want to speak. I don't, and you feel like, that's exactly the time that you have to speak up. You have to speak your truth. You have to say what you feel, what you think, because this is the point of creating a change and shifting. And you don't have to have enough. You don't have to bring yourself to that point of saturation of I've had enough, I need something new, something else, something better. You always have to just reflect on the past situations, observe yourself, how you could have spoken up, how you could have said your truth, how you could have said your disagreement, and set intentions for the next time that something similar happens. It is the time to speak your own mind. Okay. It's not about constantly avoiding these kind of situations because then you're just becoming a pawn into someone's life, into someone's intentions, into someone's plans, and you're not just that. This is how we step into our sovereignty. This is how we actually ground the 5D energy even more. More of us and more of us and more of us. We are bringing the new reality that is coming up. And confrontation, it's not something bad. It's not something that you have to avoid because you're gonna break someone's heart, because you're gonna dissatisfy them, or because of fear of that. What will that create? The argument or the disagreement. The more real you are, the more true connections you create in your life, you bring in your life, and you never know how people can surprise you. When I found that courage, okay, I was pressured from many things, and I did that with my bestie, okay, my best friend. And I'm unhappy when I constantly call you and you never pick up and you do it at your own time, only when you see fit, but you ignore my need to hear you or this or that. There were two or three things in our connection. And without me expecting her to change anything in her behavior, in her attitude, without any expectations, just because I was vulnerable enough, authentic enough with the things I was sharing, that was heard, appreciated, respected in many ways. And I saw the shifts taking place and changing, and us being in a better space. So if you find yourself in some similar situations, like this one, either with colleagues, with friends, with family, with soul tribe members, get yourself out of your comfort zone, use confrontation, speak your truth, and what's the worst thing that can happen? Lose that connection? It wasn't honest, it wasn't a true connection. So what? Again, remember that. So what? You need to have true connections in your life where you share your truth, where you share who you are without holding back any of yourself, any part of yourself. And this is what I'm hoping for you to gain out of this video. All the things that you have to gain, remember the things you have to lose, and actually be out of that situation that you are into, that you put yourself into. It's time to speak up and be authentic, be realistic, and be your true self. As I'm saying with my mantra, be your true self and be true to yourself. That is very important, especially now. We are called in to step into our sovereignty. We are called to ground a higher energy of being within self, first and foremost, and with others. And we can't have that if we are not authentic with ourselves. See you in the next video, and I hope this helped somehow, or actually in many ways. Please leave comments below and book a session. Let's connect. Let's see how we can work on your energy. Let's shift some layers for you.